Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. How are you today? We are officially in day 2 of our 10K and 5-day challenge, where we will be really talking about how we can draw in $10,000 in income by attracting ideal clients and really tapping into our current database, our current sphere of influence. So yesterday we talked about really the importance of choosing a niche and why you should choose a niche. When you choose a niche, you're able to just go straight to the source, go straight to the data point, and actually do your marketing more effectively. Hey Juan, hey Katrina, hey Sarah, how are you guys? So we are in day 2, and so what we're going to be talking about is really having the sales consultation, really learning how to walk people through the consultation over the phone, where we aren't coaching them or anything like that. We aren't telling them any tax strategies or any bookkeeping or accounting strategies. What we're doing, we're understanding where they're at in their business or where they're at in their personal lives, and we're making the invitation to work together. So in tomorrow, I'm going to actually show you how you can tap into your current database to really start booking appointments on your calendar this week with business owners, people that you're just interested in talking to, people that you just need to connect with, so you can start either 1, cultivating for referrals, or 2, actually learning how you can help this business owner make or save money with either tax reduction strategies or any accounting or bookkeeping that you can offer them. So when you have this sales consultation, there are typically 5 steps that you want to do when you're actually talking to someone over the phone. And what I like to do in my business, I really like to go after small business owners. Now, the reason why is just, 1, is just more highly leveraged. Instead of doing 1 tax return and just going after an individual, I can do 2 tax returns, and I can really provide a lot of value in their business with their bookkeeping, their accounting, and just with, strategy. A lot of business owners, especially newer ones, they really don't know the best ways to navigate, their finances, their accounting, their bookkeeping, that will really put them on a good track to hit their income goals. A lot of them want to expand their business. They want to, acquire additional employees. They want to build out their team. So you, as the problem solver, you as the person that's able to identify where they are and where they want to be, and being the solution for them that can actually help them bridge that gap. So I really like to focus on, in my tax business and my accounting and bookkeeping, I really like to go after business owners, because you also have an opportunity to, of course, do their individual tax returns. So it's kind of, you're getting 2 returns in one. And if you're really providing value, you should be charging, $1,000 to $1,500 just for the business tax return, and then $300 to $400 for the individual return. Okay, so when you're going to be booking these strategy sessions, is what I call them. They are consultations. When you're getting on the phone with people, 1, I like to do a pre-call. When I have these business owners that I'm lined up to speak with on the phone, I like to make sure that my energy is good, that I am connected to who they are and what they have to go, and what their dreams and goals are. But most importantly, I release all, just intentions on closing them as a client. Like I acknowledge that I would like to get this client, that I'm going to provide the best value and service to them, but I don't have any attachment if they say yes to work with me. And when you go into your calls that way and actually speaking to other small business owners, you're coming with like an energy of power with you, where you aren't needing this as a client. You aren't needing them to pay you money, or you're coming from a place of desperation. You're actually coming from a place of empowerment, and really just seeing, how can I provide value to this person. Now, on the second step of the call, when you open up and they say hello and you say hello, you want to see how you can build a connection with this person. You want to see, especially if you're doing advertising online like I teach, you're going to be talking to business owners from all over the country. So you want to open up the call, see how their weekend was, really, try to figure out how the weather is. Anybody, I noticed that when you talk about weather, I mean, that's an immediate connection, the weather is. So try to find some sort of commonalities between you and that person. and then go into the transition. So how I typically transition into my strategy sessions, I typically say, okay, Bob, well, thank you so much for taking the call today. Typically how these consultations go, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I'm going to, where's the phone? Sorry about that. So I like to open up the call and say, hey, John, thank you for taking this phone call today. Typically how these consultations go, I'm just going to ask you a few questions to really understand your business. And if it makes sense, I'll tell you a little bit more about our services and how we can help you. And you can make a decision on whether or not you want to work with me. And you really be straightforward to let them know that you are going to ask them to work together by the end of the call. And then that kind of drops their resistance on, she's not going to sell me. She's just going to see how she can help me in my business, and if I want to work with her, that opportunity would be put on the table. Now, in step 3 of the call, you really want to understand their current situation. A lot of business owners, they are struggling with their bookkeeping, their accounting. They aren't keeping track of all of their expenses, so that could definitely have an effect on their tax liability, because if they are missing certain expenses, then that's just deductions that they aren't able to take, so they're paying more in taxes. So in the third part of the call, you really want to understand their current situation. Where are they right now with their business? How much money they're making? What was last year's revenue? What do they forecast for the future? And really try to see, what's paining them at the moment. What challenges are they having? What are they currently using to keep track of their accounting and bookkeeping? Are they using QuickBooks or Xero? Do they currently have a bookkeeper or an accountant? And if they do, what is that process like? How are they getting their monthly financial statements? How are they even identifying the profitability of the business to really see where are some areas of opportunity? Where can I actually, really focus on how to grow this business? And what reports are they using for that? And this part of the call, you want to ask as many questions as possible to really understand where they are at currently with their business. And what you want to do, you want to start looking for little triggers on, if it's a problem with the bookkeeping, it's more than likely a problem with maybe making payroll or paying their payroll tax liabilities, or just saving, period. Are they able to put money into savings? Are they able to actually have profits aside so they can expand their business? And then the fourth part of the call is really just to understand their vision. So you want to understand like where they're going. You want to sit over here? Okay. You want to understand where they're going with their business. You want to know, what future plans do they have for expansion, or future plans do they have to actually add, additional employees or things like that. Because the key here, guys, is you want to look to see where they are currently with their business and where they want to be. And you, as the accountant, as the bookkeeper, as the tax professional, you are this middle part, this space. You are the gap. You are the vehicle that's actually going to help them bridge that gap. Because, guys, we're getting out of the mind frame of I'm just an accountant or bookkeeper, or I'm just a tax professional. You are a problem solver. You help solve problems. You should constantly be looking for what are the tax reduction strategies, what are some ways that we can set you up accounting wise. Do you need project costing? Whatever the case may be, you want to be looking at ways on how you can be of service and be of value. It may be something as simple as actually restructuring their accounts. One client of mine, he was having everything go into this one account, all of his income, and he was paying all of his expenses out of it, his operating expenses, his family life. Like, he was literally commingling all of his funds. And we all know that that's a big no-no. And so what I was able to do for him, I actually followed the profit first method. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but we actually broke up all of his accounts into about 5 different accounts. And what we had was this one big operating account, not operating account, but one big account where all of the income flowed in. in. And then we were able to make the transfer to the tax liability account to make sure that when the monthly tax reports were due, we had the money available. We were able to put money into an operating account. So when he needed to buy supplies, when he needed to actually add, different materials to be able to run his business, that money was already there. And so when you're talking to people over the phone, you want to constantly be looking at ways on how you can solve their problem, how you can be that vehicle for them to really bridge the gap from where they are to where they want to be. Now, another thing that I like to do is really start thinking about, and guys, let me just make a little note here. This is not, you're not giving this advice over the phone. I'm going to show you in part 5 of this call how you're going to word all of this, but you aren't telling them what they typically need to do. You aren't, giving them all of the goods on the phone. You aren't coaching on this phone call. This is a call to really just identify where they are, where they want to be, and how your services can kind of fit into that and help them solve that problem. So on the 5th part of the call, after you understand their current situation, where they are with their business, their pains, their troubles, what's keeping them up at night, how jacked up their bookkeeping, accounting, and taxes are, to where they want to be, which is business expansion, money in the bank, them paying their tax liabilities on time, not getting hit with penalties and interest, them just having peace of mind. Now you just want to reiterate and say, okay, John, from what it sounds like I'm hearing, you're having this problem, this problem, this problem, and this challenge, this challenge, this challenge. You want to make sure that you reiterate what they're telling you so you are on the same page, because oftentimes what can happen, you may think that they meant something a certain way, or that they said something a certain way, but they really didn't. They probably didn't mean it that way. Whatever the case may be, you want to take this opportunity in the call to reiterate what they stated to you, to reiterate where they are and where they want to be, to make sure that you completely understand their problem. Now, another thing that this does is actually establishes you as the authority figure. It actually establishes you as the expert, because they're like, yes, you get me. You get my finances. You get what I'm trying to do. And honestly, you're just reiterating what they already told you. But what you want to do, you actually want to acknowledge what they told you. You want to acknowledge that you understand their problems, their pains, their wants, their desires. And now we can transition in towards the end of the call, which is you actually piecing everything together, taking what they told you, taking, them saying that they had a bookkeeping problem, or that they need months of bookkeeping cleaned up over the past several months. They haven't been keeping track, that they paid, $17,000 in a tax liability last year. You're taking everything that they told you and you're actually puzzling pieces together in your solution. So what it would sound like is, again, you're not coaching them. You're not telling them exactly what you're going to do either. You're not telling them, oh, well, we need to get on, QuickBooks or Xero, or we need to really make sure that blah, 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 blah. You want to sell the result that you're going to be able to give them. You're going to say, hey, John, from the sounds of it, we're going to be able to at least save you about $10,000 with, just us just restructuring your business and really setting you up for success. We have a couple of different ways on how we like to help our business owners set up their accounts, and I'm going to go over with you when we have our very first kickoff call. And then you actually just go through the other parts. Now, for the cleanup, we need to actually get your books cleaned up, and what that's going to allow you to do is have clean financial statements. You're actually going to be able to know how much you made for the past year, your profitability, and really identify what areas of your business that we really need to look at. Now, again, I'm not telling them how I'm going to clean up their books, exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just telling them the end result of having their books clean. I'm telling them the end result of actually having a bookkeeper or accountant or tax professional that actually cares about where they are in their business and where they're trying to go. And then I'm going to keep going. Yeah, John, you told me that you want to be able to add additional vehicles within the next 12 months. Well, what we're going to do when we structure your monthly account allocations, we're going to make sure that we're saving about 10 to 15% of revenue, so we can make sure come April you have enough money in that account to go ahead and expand on your business. And you keep going down the track. And what I like to teach in my program is you want to quantify how much money you're going to save them. You want to quantify how much money they already lost by not working with you. And you want to quantify the feeling of you working with them, how much more peace of mind that they're going to have about the future, how much confident they are going to be just going forward, knowing that everything is taken care of. And guys, I don't know how many times I've actually spoken to a small business owner, and they literally are like thanking me, like praising me, like thank you so much. Like it's like this weight that is lifted off of them when you actually have your sales calls this way. Again, you aren't coaching them, you aren't telling them what to do. You are really selling them the dream of what working with you would be like. And then you transition into, okay, John, well, what we can do, for the cleanup, it's going to be this. For the bookkeeping, it's going to be this. But if you decide to work with me today, what I'll do, I'll give you the discount of X amount of dollars. And what you want to do, you want to really try to collect some sort of payment on the first call. Now, I would say about maybe 50-50 of my calls, I'm able to collect the payment on the first call. The other 50%, they're like, yeah, well, let me think about it. You know, I have to check my budget. I have to talk to my partner. I have to talk to my spouse. Whatever the objection is, you're going to get those objections, and you're just going to have to do a follow-up call. What I want you to do, if you're not able to close that client on the phone right then and there, set the follow-up call. Okay, well, let's pull up your calendar. When do you think you'll be able to talk to your partner? Oh, well, I'll probably be able to talk to them in a couple of days or tonight. Okay, well, let's set the follow-up call for Monday, or let's set the follow-up call for Thursday. Do you prefer mornings or afternoons? And so, guys, you have to, I know as accountants and tax professionals, we aren't taught sales. We didn't go to school for sales. They didn't teach us how to talk to people, you know, how to market and advertise. We know how to do bookkeeping and taxes. That's what we know how to do. But sales is a huge component of actually being able to grow your business. So having the sales conversation, knowing how to structure that conversation where you're not giving all of the goods out. You're not telling them all of the nuances involved in what needs to be done to solve their problem. You're really just identifying where they're at, and you're selling the dream of having their books clean. You're selling the dream of being able to have money in the bank and having savings and not having to rob Peter to pay Paul, or having to pay more interest and penalties because you can't pay your bills on time. Guys, I've seen it. They're business owners and their finances are just, all out of whack. So go ahead, pop some comments below. What questions do you have about actually having the sales consultation with your ideal clients? Now, if you're just catching this, watch the whole thing when I'm done. But what I'm telling you here is that I like to go after business clients. If you're just the type of person that you're like, I just want to do taxes, that's fine. But I like to go after the business clients' taxes first, and then get their individual returns, and then their family and friends. I don't like to just go after 1040 clients, which can be done. I have strategies where we could just go after 1040 clients that is highly leveraged. But I like to go after business clients, do the tax work for the business and do the tax work for the individual. So each customer, they're worth about I would say about $2,000 per client. And when you look at it that way, you don't need 1,000 1040 clients. You don't need to be doing taxes through the wee morning during tax season, because you actually position your business to provide more value, more service, and you're not just data putting tax returns. So what questions do you have? Hey Nisha, hey Peggy, CJ, Sarah, Katrina, Michaela. What questions do you guys have about this? Is sales scary to you? Because tomorrow on day 3, I'm going to show you how to actually get people on the phone and actually talk to them. So, and actually how to go through this process, have a consultation and onboard a client. I told you guys yesterday, my big goal is to get you a client now this week, so you can actually start building up that confidence and just go full steam forward. Guys, we have, a good 2 months left. We have all of November, all of December to build up our database now. So when January 2019 comes, it's just simply as transitioning these clients into tax clients. But now you should be taking on the bookkeeping, the accounting, and really setting them up for success. So I don't see any questions here. No one has any questions, or am I just not seeing any questions? So yeah, no questions. So Tomorrow we'll be hopping on at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to show you how to get clients on the phone tomorrow. So rewatch this video if you have to. Learn the steps that you need to learn in order to have that smooth conversation, to really position yourself as the value advisor, as the problem solver. And tomorrow we're going to start booking some calls on your calendar, you getting on the phone with these business owners and you walking through this process. And guys, it's just practice. Sales is practice. All right, guys, it was fun, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.